Hello everybody, today back in another video. Oh boy, Daniel Medvedev, the party spoiler, the party crasher. He has spoiled the final that we all was expecting, the final that we all was dreaming, the final that we all was talking about. Daniel Medvedev has knocked out the number one seed, the world number one, the defending US Open champion, Carlos Alcaraz, in 4 sets. Wins the first set 7-6, 7-3 in the tiebreak, wins the second set 6-1, loses the third 6-3, and wins the fourth 6-3. Daniel Medvedev with an unbelievable tennis, especially with his shot tolerance from the baseline, his deep returns, his depth on his ground strokes, his clutchness. Because let's be honest, Carlos Alcaraz, he had his chances throughout the match, didn't take them. Medvedev, he did the exactly opposite. He took his chances. The first set, let's be honest, Carlos Alcaraz, he maybe was slightly a better player. At least before the tiebreak, he had 2 breakpoint opportunities in the first set, didn't convert in any of them. Medvedev didn't have any single breakpoint opportunity in the first set. Medvedev took himself to a tiebreak, and in the tiebreak, Medvedev was the better, cleaner, more consistent player and won that first set tiebreak very deservedly 7-3. In the second set, it was a beast mode Daniel Medvedev. It was a beast mode Daniel Medvedev, especially in the serving department. My God, he served like a monster. He didn't lose any points more or less behind first and second serve. He landed 13 first serves in the second set, 13 first serves. He wins 12 of those points. So he loses 1 point behind his first serve in the second set, which is 92% winning points behind your first serve on the second set. He uses his second serve 5 times in the second set. He wins 4 of those points. He loses only 1 point behind his second serve as well in the second set, which is 80% in winning points behind your second serve in the second set. So Daniel Medvedev was a serve machine in the second set. Carlos Alcaraz was helpless in that second set. He was helpless. I cannot blame him. It was a beast mode Daniel Medvedev he played in the second set, where he dropped 2 points, 1 point behind his first serve and 1 point behind his second serve. In serving department, I mean. He will drop 2 points in serving department, not when he was returning. So it was a beast mode Daniel Medvedev in the second set, where Daniel Medvedev won that second set 6-1 and gave Carlos Alcaraz a breadstick. In the third, Carlos Alcaraz raised up his level. Medvedev, of course, went down. It is not possible playing like he did in that second set, especially serving like he did in the second set. It is not impossible. Of course, he started to lose more points behind both first serve and second serve in the third set, and Carlos Alcaraz won the third set 6-3. And then in the fourth, Carlos had very many breakpoint opportunities. He really had 6 of them. He had 6 breakpoint opportunities, 3 in the beginning of the fourth set, which he didn't convert, and 3 in the last game of the fourth set when Daniel Medvedev was serving out for the match and didn't convert in any of them. Medvedev had only 2 breakpoint opportunities in that fourth set and converted in 1 of them, and in the end won that fourth set 6-3. So Daniel Medvedev is through to his 3rd US Open final and to his 5th Grand Slam final. With an unbelievable tennis, really. He really played. He won this match without changing many things. He didn't change anything. Perhaps he went bigger on his second serve. That's why he did 9 double faults. Because he was afraid from Carlos Alcaraz's returns, because he has superb returns. Carlos Alcaraz, he was going big on his second serves, not all the time, but many times, because he didn't want to be punished from Carlos Alcaraz's returns. That was maybe the only tactical change I saw with Medvedev in comparing in his previous meetings with Carlos earlier this year at Wimbledon and in the Wells, where Medvedev lost in straight set. But he didn't change his return position. He was still returning 5-6 meters behind the baseline, but he didn't change anything of that. But he did great returns with really great depth. The balls were landing on the baseline, and all respect and credit to Carlos Alcaraz firepower, but when you have the balls that are landing on the baseline, it is not easy creating winners from that position, which Carlos Alcaraz, he created winners, but not enough to win this match. He did also a little unforced errors, not crazy much, but I'm going to come to the stats soon. But Medvedev, he won this match. According to me, he was the better baseline player, especially on when the chips were down, when the big points was arriving, in the pressure points, he was the better player. All in all, I don't know if he was the better player from the baseline, because Carlos Alcaraz challenged Medvedev from the baseline pretty good. It was not like Carlos was crushed here from the baseline. But when you don't take your chances in tennis, this is exactly what happens. In the first set, he didn't take his 2 break match opportunities, Carlos Alcaraz. And in the tiebreak, Medvedev did a cleaner tiebreak with less unforced errors. Carlos Alcaraz did a couple of unforced errors in that first set tiebreak, and that cost him the set. In the second set, it was a beast mode Medvedev in the serving department. Nothing for Carlos to do there. Nothing to do there. It was just Medvedev just pushed that beast mode button in that second set in the serving department. He lost only 2 points, 1 point behind his first serve, 1 point behind his second serve. Nothing to do there. So of course Carlos Alcaraz didn't have any break match opportunities in the second set. Impossible to have break match opportunities with that kind of a serving from Medvedev. In the third, Carlos raised his level, started to do more winners, less unforced errors, winning more points than his first serve and second serve in the third set. So he won that third set deservedly 6-3. And Medvedev also went down in his level. That third set is the only set where Medvedev did more unforced errors than winners. He did 8 unforced errors in the third set and 4 winners. That is the only set. All the other sets, Medvedev does more winners than unforced errors, besides the first set, where it is even Steven, where Medvedev does in the first set 12 winners, 12 unforced errors. So Medvedev's weakest set was in the third set. But the other 3 sets that Medvedev wins, he's really good. Let's be honest here, especially the second set, like I have demonstrated. If you look at the stats, Medvedev does 8 aces, 9 double faults, because he was going big on his second serves, because he was afraid from Carlos Alcaraz returns. He served 64% first serves in. He wins 82% behind his first serve, which is a high number, winning that many points behind your first serve, especially against a great returner like Carlos. But the biggest damage Medvedev did in the second set. That what raised Medvedev's winning percentage behind first serve, because in that second set Medvedev wins unbelievably 92% behind his first serve. Anyway, so Medvedev in the entire match wins 82% behind his first serve. He wins 50% behind his second serve. He broke Carlos Alcaraz 3 times out of 7 break match opportunities that he had. So he was pretty clutch, according to me. And he did 32 unforced errors and 37 winners. So he does 5 more winners than unforced errors and won 141 points in total in the match. Pretty good numbers. Really, really good numbers. If you look at Carlos Alcaraz, did 0 aces, 0 double faults. He couldn't ace Medvedev because Medvedev was standing so far back on the returning games that he couldn't ace Medvedev. Medvedev had a racket every single time that Carlos was serving. So he didn't do any aces, didn't do any double faults. He lands 70% first serves in, Carlos Alcaraz, which is higher than Medvedev, but he was still winning less points behind his first serve, with 69% in winning points behind his first serve. Why? Because he doesn't have a lethal serve like Medvedev. He was not getting 3 points behind his first serve like Medvedev was getting. He was not finding the spots as good as Medvedev was finding as well, and that's why he was winning under 70% of points behind his first serve. Carlos Alcaraz with 69% winning points behind his first serve. Winning points behind his second serve, that was more even Steven. Carlos Alcaraz won 48% behind his second serve. And here you have the biggest key in the match, according to me, why Carlos Alcaraz lost this match. It was here that Carlos Alcaraz was outclutched. according to me. He had 9 breakpoint opportunities, Carlos Alcaraz. He converts in only 1. 9 breakpoint opportunities, my tennis friends all around the world. He converts in only 1, which was that in that third set where he converted in that only he broke Medvedev serve only once, which was in the third set. Out of 9 breakpoint opportunities that he had. So that is too little. He had actually more breakpoint opportunities than Medvedev. Medvedev had 7 breakpoint opportunities. He converted in 3 of those 7 breakpoint opportunities that he had. Carlos Alcaraz had 2 more, 9, and he converted in only 1. So it was there. He was outclutched. It was not like Carlos did a disaster match. He actually did a pretty good match. We look at the unforced errors and winners ratio. He does 45 winners and 38 unforced errors. So he does 7 more winners and unforced errors in total in the match, Carlos Alcaraz. And all in all in the match wins 121 points. So Medvedev wins in total 20 more points than Carlos Alcaraz in the entire match. So it was this way that Carlos Alcaraz lost this match. Medvedev, he outclutched Carlos Alcaraz. Medvedev outserved Carlos Alcaraz, and Medvedev was slightly also better from the baseline than Carlos Alcaraz. Not with much, but slightly. But if Carlos Alcaraz would have broken Medvedev in that last game of the fourth game, of the 4 sets, of the 4th set, where he had 3 breakpoint opportunities in that last game of the 4th set, who knows what would happen? We all know how tennis works. You can just be down. You can be 2 sets to 1 down. You can be 2 sets to love down, and you can come back. We all remember what happened to Medvedev in that Australian Open final last year against Rafa Nadal when he was 2 sets to love up and had 3 breakpoint opportunities in the middle of the 3rd set with a 40-love lead in Rafa serve, and Rafa Nadal made the Houdini escape and in the end won the match in 5 sets. So Carlos Alcaraz maybe would have done the same if he would have broken Medvedev in that last game of the 4th set, but he didn't. Medvedev is deservedly through to his 5th Grand Slam final and to his 3rd US Open final. This is, not many people have talked about Medvedev. Yeah, we have had him as one of the top contenders to win the title. He was my 3rd favorite to win this title when this US Open started 2 weeks ago, almost now, 12 days ago now. But it was not many who believed that Medvedev would defeat Carlos Alcaraz in the semi-final. I for sure didn't do that. I didn't do. You have seen my videos. They are there to watch. So I didn't do that. So I'm surprised, not shocked. You can never be shocked when the world number 3 defeats a world number 1. Especially the way he had defeated him. He didn't change much. He was still returning 5 meters behind from the baseline. He was still not playing very close to the baseline. He outlasted Carlos Alcaraz from a baseline. He was better than Carlos Alcaraz slightly from a baseline. He outclutched Carlos Alcaraz in converting more, in taking chances more than Carlos did, like I said, with the breakpoint conversions, and he also outserved Carlos Alcaraz. That was the difference in this match, especially 2 things. He outclutched Carlos Alcaraz on the breakpoint conversions, and he outserved Carlos Alcaraz. There you have why Medvedev won this match. Medvedev he didn't serve this good at Wimbledon 2 months ago, and he didn't serve this good in Indian Wells 6-7 months ago in that Indian Wells final. He for sure played a much higher level in this US Open semi-final, and he even said that himself after the final. He said that I played very, very high level, 11 out of 12, 10 out of 12, something like that, 12 out of 10, something like that. He really was really satisfied with his performance, and he should be. He is a wall. Carlos Alcaraz couldn't hit through him that much. Yeah, he did 45 winners all in all in the match, Carlos Alcaraz, but he still did 38 unforced errors. Yeah, he still does more winners than unforced errors, but in the end, no, Medvedev was the cleaner, was the clutcher, and was the better server, and even was the better returner, according to me. Even was the better returner, for God's sakes. After all, broke Carlos' serve 3 times, and Carlos broke Medvedev's serve only once. I think Djokovic preferred Medvedev to face Medvedev more than Carlos. That is my feeling. Even though that Djokovic has lost to Medvedev a couple of times, one time in a Grand Slam final, but Djokovic knows that Carlos Alcaraz, he is super dangerous and has all the shots in the book, and really has given Novak Djokovic a hell of a run for his money the last couple of times that they faced each other. And 2 months ago he defeated him in the Wimbledon final, and a couple of weeks ago he almost defeated him in the Cincinnati final. So my feeling is that Djokovic, because these opponents always wishes whom to face, and I believe that before this match even started, Djokovic wanted more to face Medvedev. That is my feeling. Maybe I will be wrong, because Djokovic, he knows that Medvedev, he doesn't have the firepower like Carlos. He knows that Medvedev doesn't have the offensive skills like Carlos. He knows that Medvedev will not hurt Djokovic with heavy ground strokes like Carlos. He knows that Medvedev will be a wall. Djokovic knows that Medvedev will be an unbelievable goalkeeper, and everything that Djokovic will throw at Medvedev, Djokovic will throw the entire kitchen sink towards Medvedev on Sunday, and Djokovic knows that everything will come back. But he still knows that Medvedev, when it is all said and done, he will not be one of the all-time greats when he will retire with his career. I don't think Medvedev will have double-digit Grand Slam titles. He will not. Carlos will. Carlos will have double-digit Grand Slam titles. He is 20 years old and already this successful, already a multiple Grand Slam champion. So I believe that not that Medvedev will be easy in the final. He will not. If Medvedev plays this kind of a tennis, especially like he did in the second set, but that second set cannot be. He can't play that kind of tennis for 3 sets, Medvedev, and win. And take 3 sets from Djokovic in that kind of a fashion way. He couldn't do that against Alcaraz because that beast mode Medvedev showed up only in that second set. That was an unplayable Medvedev in the second set. It was an unplayable Medvedev. If Medvedev shows up with that kind of a level on Sunday, Djokovic is toast. Djokovic will lose in straight sets. But I don't think Medvedev will be able to play that kind of a match like he did in that second set with Alcaraz. I don't think so. That is too much to ask. So Djokovic knows it is a huge mountain to climb on Sunday with Medvedev. Djokovic remember what happened 2 years ago in that US Open final when Medvedev defeated Djokovic straight sets. But it will be a different scenario now. Djokovic is not going for the calendar Grand Slam. Djokovic will not be as nervous as he was 2 years ago. Djokovic will be more fresher than he was 2 years ago. I remember that 2 years ago he was losing sets all over the tournament. He just came from a 5-set battle with Zverev in the semis, so it is a much fresher Djokovic Medvedev will face now on Sunday. But my feeling is that Djokovic is satisfied that he will face Medvedev instead of Alcaraz. That is my feeling. That is how I see this, how I believe it anyway. So anyway, Medvedev, he said before the tournament started, my job is to make people talk about me, because they were asking him, everybody was talking about the Alcaraz and Djokovic final on US Open 2 weeks from now. What do you think about that? I'm not surprised. They are the best in the world, he said, but I don't mind, he said, but my job is that to make people to talk about me. And he is pretty on a good way of doing that. We are already talking about him now, with him playing his 5th Grand Slam final and his 3rd US Open final. And if he wins on Sunday, we will talk about him even more. He has a little gone under the radar. Even though he is the world number 3, it is not many who's talked about him. Everybody is talking about Alcaraz and Djokovic. Everybody. And I've seen all the previews, because I watch all the previews on the internet, social medias, from tennis analysts. Nobody of all the tennis analysts around the world has predicted Medvedev to defeat Carlos Alcaraz. Nobody. No, I have not heard anyone saying Medvedev will defeat Carlos Alcaraz in that semifinal. And Medvedev proved us all wrong, which I'm happy for his sake, because I don't mind the dude. He's a likable guy. He always gives great interviews after the matches, so I really don't mind the dude. But let's see if he can defeat the 23 times Grand Slam champion on Sunday, Novak Djokovic. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, you don't thumbs up, subscribe, see you next time. Peace.